Hello, guys. Welcome back to Reinvented, where we talk all things mental health. Today we are going to look at telehealth and how it's changing the game for mental health and I guess mental health care in general. Because I did find some on both. So yeah. Um, remember, all these are like articles found from I don't know, like this first one's from the National Library of Medicine, and then the second article is from Harvard Medical School. So we're gonna look into those two articles. Yeah, I may also give a little bit of my own because, as many of you may or may not remember, um, if you've ever watched my videos, I had my own therapist, and yes, they were my telehealth therapist. So I have a little bit of my own experience with my own experiences with it. So I mean, let's see how it changes the game. I mean, for me personally, it actually really did help. Um, and because even going in person just made me so anxious. And I really didn't feel like I had that support system around me to um, take the steps to go in person. So I went my own route of doing, um, you know, online. So yeah, let's see what how this is changing it. So from the first article reading from the National Library of Medicine, trends in use of telehealth for behavioral health care during the COVID-19 pandemic. Um, yeah, in the early months of COVID, telehealth use in the United States increased drastically, provided shifted their modes of practice to decrease risk of exposure to the virus, and especially since people were staying at home at that time. No one was probably really going to their therapist. It was more probably going to be online. Um, let's see. Telehealth includes health services rendered via interactive audio, video, telecommunication systems. Overall rates of telehealth used for all conditions declined later in 2020 as the initial COVID-19 surge abated. However, these declines were primarily driven by visits for physical health conditions, while rates for behavioral health conditions remained consistently high throughout 2021. Again, and especially for physical health, you can talk to a doctor online, and I've done it, but it's also they're not physically there. Like you're just telling them your symptoms. It's like they're not actually physically there, so they don't know how you're feeling. And there's not there's the test they can run. So you know, with behavioral health, it's like you can actually actually talk to someone. And it's more of talking to someone um, than actually having to be like, hey, yeah, you may need to get this test or try this medication or so be it. Um, yeah, the early data suggests that the use of telehealth for behavioral health conditions resonates with both patients and providers and may be a vital component to continue to include in benefit packages offered by employers to support the well-being of their employees. Um, and especially now with even after COVID, some people still just may not want to not even leave their house, but just not venture out and into that. Um, yeah, the data used for this analysis covering January 2020 through November 2021 were from the IBM Market Scan, commercial, and Medicare supplement databases combining annual, quarterly, and early view releases. During this period, these claims databases represent the health services of approximately 26 million employees. Um, yeah, and I think a lot of this article has to do with a lot with how employers can help you know, their employees. So yeah, let's see. I'm trying to not go into like all this data. I'm gonna really try to remember to link this article down below. So yeah, that way when I do upload, yeah, okay, there we go. Now we're gonna look at the second one. This one is from Harvard Medical School. Telemedicine can change care for the better with the right rules. I don't actually want to know what the rules say. Adapting to change. Obviously, it says telemedicine use skyrocketed during the shutdowns and surges of the early part of COVID-19. Obviously, because again, people couldn't really leave their houses. They couldn't really leave. What were they supposed to do? With the demand has come question about the best use and best practice for telemedicine, what the future of care delivery in the U.S. should look like. Medicare, telehealth services, cost benefit analysis for U.S. health system. The team found that in 2021 and 2022, patients in the high use systems had 2.2% more visits per year, but 2.7% fewer non-COVID emergency department visits. The findings reinforced studies by I don't know how to say that. And elsewhere, they focus on care for specific conditions such as telehealth medicine for mental health, and on specific groups of people, including research telemedicine in. I feel like I'm like talking so fast, which I probably am. In pediatrics during the pandemic, and how telemedicine changed the quality of care for people in rural communities. Okay, we're trying. Okay, I promise, guys. Protecting in-person practices, preserving access to care. Again, it's all up to preference too, because some people just don't trust the online, going in online. Telemedicine care across state lines. Yeah, most current rules require that a provider be licensed to practice medicine in the state where the telemedicine patient is located. So obviously, yes, still gotta be, still gotta be licensed. New ways of practicing medicine. The way doctors practicing medicine is changing, which actually is very true because, especially now with like an online shift of things, um, these, I feel like with like especially everything going like online, we've kind of seen the shift probably around COVID a little before where things were starting to go online, so businesses had to adjust, and even um, you know doctors have to adjust as well because everything is changing or everything's starting to make a shift, and it's about like how you make the change and how you react to it. And that is all I have for you guys today. I do hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget, we both Reinvented and She Scores are on Podcast Player, and we're on YouTube. I do post the same episodes, or like I post both episodes on the same YouTube, which is Reinvented and She Scores, and the same thing for Podcast Player. Reinvented episodes are just under Reinvented, and She Scores is just under She Scores. We also have an Instagram page and a TikTok page of Reinvented and She Scores, and then I have my personal platform, which is where I post. I do post podcast stuff there as well. But I'm also I have my own Instagram at KickAssK28. I've also been posting on my TikTok again at KickAssK28. And then I'm also restarting up the Juicy Smut again. I've been so busy. I have like not had time to think, and I have not had time to the juicy smut, and I'm really excited to get back to that. So, yeah, I cannot wait to see you guys there. And yeah, I do hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you with a brand new episode next week. Peace.